Hey guys, it's Urban here from jurbanmusic.com and welcome to my studio. I hope you like this. We kind of renovated this. We added some acoustic treatment here behind me and it kind of looks okay, except the nano leaf is not really in the middle, but that's okay too. So as you notice here by my sweater that I'm wearing, it's Justin Bieber. So today we're gonna make a Justin Bieber type beat for you guys. I want to show you the whole process from zero pretty much, like starting with chords, drums, and then going into chorus part, outro, intro, everything. Psst, I just noticed I forgot to take some tape in the back. It was right here. Here you go, all good, let's continue. So I hope you're gonna like this video and let's get to the production part. So here we go, that's the project. Just so you can quickly look. There's an intro, there's a verse, then there's a bridge a little bit, and there's a chorus, pretty long, then there's a verse, bridge, chorus, outro. It's a pretty simple, very short intro, very short outro, very short bridge, but big choruses and semi-regular verses. So let's start. I'm not gonna lie, I used the guitar sample from Cymatics. Let's hear it. And as you can see, I have pretty basic EQing. I just cut out the low ends, added some highs, and just subtracted a bit of the mid low. So nothing else. I could have thrown like effects to make it sound unique, but that was enough. The sampler pattern is just the chords for the G sharp major, just so I know. And then based on that, here's how I started doing chords. We got the main guitar loop. But for the verse I had to add some extra. As you can see, it's pretty simple plug sound. We can solo it. Sounds very nice and soft, and it's from Serum. I didn't really do much to the sound, and let's hear. We have pretty simple delay, then OTT, and then a reverb. If we remove one by one, very dry. So delay, OTT. Yeah, OTT brought up the kind of the overall volume and made the low parts louder. So that's very useful. You gotta use OTT for that to make things louder, and then the loud parts make it quieter. I hope it makes sense. And then on top of that, it also does the compression stuff, but I'm sure you understand that. And then there is a reverb. It adds a little bit of like a space in the back, just pretty much generic reverb. And let's hear it together. Without. So that's how I started the chords. And that's pretty much goes through the whole song. And then we got the snap. That's the verse, start of the verse. To make it sound more interesting, I highly recommend using like a plugin like this, Tornado. What it does is just create some automation for the low pass. To make the verse sound more interesting and more like create some kind of crescendo to the chorus part. I hope I'm using the word right. You see? Without it, it's very simple, no automation, no moving parts. Here it makes it more interesting, more space for the vocals in the verse part. In the chorus part you don't have to have it, but in the verse part it's very important to add some kind of automation that crescendos to the chorus. Again, I hope I'm using the word right. That's the first part of the verse. Then we added the kick. Nothing on the kick. And then on top of that there's a ream. Just simple ream sound, ream shot. And then there's a hi-hats, whole bunch of stuff in there. Adds a little bit of movement as well, especially I like to add hi-hats in the second part of the verses. So let's solo it. I have the multipass, drum modulator preset. Without it, It adds a little bit of a stereo, like frequency shifter, and it adds more like a saturation to the sound. I like to add it when there's not much stuff going on in the verse, so it's very important to add some kind of stereo effect on the hi-hats. I think it adds a little bit of uniqueness to the production part. So I highly recommend using this plugin. See, without it, it's very plain. With this plugin, the hi-hats are more in the front and you can hear them more, kind of. If I'm explaining it in a simple way. And then there's a EQ. So I cut the high a little bit, because there's already a drum modulator on top, like multipass. So then there's a clap trap, as I like to call it. Like a kind of generic trap, kind of snare sound, more like close to snare, but it's still a clap. And then there's extra clap. It's very wide and big clap, so that's why I wanted to add more, because it's coming closer to the chorus part. And then there's extra layer of the chords. Then again I have OTT on this. Very subtle. Whenever I add OTT, I try to make it very subtle without adding too much stuff. So there's only 29% upward and 30 downward, and then there's lower time and depth. Of course, the main important thing is 30%. I rarely go over 50%, but maybe it's just me. I know some people go over, but yeah. And then the EQ for those pads, for the chords, I wanted to bring up more of the high end, so without it, very low, very high. And there's a vintage verb. As you might tell, I love using vintage verb. I use it in every project that I have. It's very simple, but yet it's very functional reverb plugin. It makes things sound more in depth, more like in the back. It adds so much space. I highly recommend using this plugin for any producers and even singers. And again, I'm using the same chords as I came up with in the first part. And of course there's some kind of transitions. There's a simple crash in the beginning, then it goes reverb, reversed crash after that. Very smooth, kind of like a Kygo sound for like the transition parts. Different crash on the second part of the verse, and then one more. Same sound. Then it gets interesting. We go into the bridge part. Here's what we have going on in the bridge part. So we just have this one layer of chords going in the bridge part, and then some transitions. It's very simple, yet it's very effective to make a transition to the chorus part, to make the chorus sound really big. I like using this effect. Lovely. White noise. Interesting thing with this effect, I use a gate. Without it, it's very simple, like upriser. With this, it makes it more melodic, more like powerful, as I say it. And yeah, and let's go into the chorus part. 808, not for the video. Interesting. It is for the video, as a matter of fact. Let's start with 808, sure. So for the 808, we added some EQ, some low end, and of course we use R bass. It's very simple. I didn't really touch much stuff. I don't know if it's even working. Okay, it is working, but it just makes it louder. I didn't adjust these settings. I don't know why, don't ask me please, but it sounds great as it is. So I didn't really play around with it as much. And then we have kick. It's pretty much same kick as here, but I just made it sound a little bit different. I changed the drum pattern for the kick part for the chorus. And then there's same clap trap chorus. The reason why it's called chorus, because it's extra clap in there. It's in stereo, very wide. I love using like stereo claps in chorus parts. Then we go here. What difference can you hear in this part? That's right, there is a snare. You hear that cool effect in there? I actually had to play around with it to make it sound the way I wanted. So there is a lot of stuff in this clap. So there is a reverb, it goes first. Here's how it sounds before any processing on the snare for the chorus. Just your regular trap snare. Then there is a reverb. Then I made it louder using crusher. Powerful as you know what. And there is a gate on this thing with very interesting settings. I highly recommend using that for choruses. Here's why. It cuts that reverb. Listen. Without. It just keeps going. It's gonna mess around with the vocals, with the whole production, so that's why I use a gate. And it makes it sound very, very interesting. It just cuts the whole sound pretty much. Pretty cool. And then on top of that there's EQ. Because Camel Crusher added, like that distortion added a lot of low end, so I just wanted to cut that. And yeah, here's what we got for the drum part. Without this snare it would sound very plain. Kinda shitty if you ask me. And then there's hi-hats. And the other thing that added that added a little bit of uniqueness to this production is a percussion loop. And there's some stuff as well. There's distortion. Without it, pretty bad. So I added some distortion. And then there's a gate as well. Because I didn't want to have some of the sounds in this loop, so that's why I added a gate in there. It cut a little bit of those, like the noise that's in there. I didn't really like having that, so I just wanted to have a really clean percussion loop in there, so that's why I added gate. So here's another way of removing some noise in the sample just by using gate. And of course I removed that automation, the low pass in the chorus part, because I wanted to sound with lots of high frequencies. So here's how the chorus sounds like. And it just goes over again, the same thing. And then we go into the second verse. It's pretty much same verse. I pretty much copy pasted this thing. You do that by holding shift and then moving the pattern. And there's transition to the verse. It starts pretty much same as the first verse, as you can see here. Also, other thing is all the drums that I have here, they go into the same mixer track here. Except the percussion loop and some of the claps, but there is a reason for that, because the big snare doesn't go into the drum mixer track. I could have added it there, yes, but I didn't. Probably would be a good idea. And then it just goes same bridge. This kind of sound, this kind of production is very similar to what LANY does, Lauv and Justin Bieber. It's very, like the structure of the song is very similar to what they do. Like there is an intro, there is a verse, there is a small bridge, and then it goes into the chorus, a very big chorus in there. And then after the chorus, there is outro. Very simple. It's a very simple production. There is not much going on. There is a simple intro, verse, bridge, chorus, and then the same thing repeats. And there's only two chords, like the two sounds for the chords. There's this one, and then there's this one. which we use for the bridge part as well, which makes it even more simple. And the guitar loop, yeah. And let's take a 5-second break for those of you who are not subscribed to the channel. I noticed that more than 60% watching this video are not subscribed, so make sure you go like this video and subscribe to my channel. Let's go. I'm curious how much time I've spent on this project. So in order to do it, so I found it, don't worry. In order to check how much time you spend on the project working, you go here, view, options, and then project info. And here's where you're gonna see how much time you spent on the project. Total time spent on it, 1 hour, 39 minutes. As I said, it's very easy to do something like that. And I know people ask me, like, why do you charge 800 or 1000 or 1500 per song when it only takes you like an hour or two to make production like this? Well, I've been doing music production for more than 7 or 8 years, and I've spent so much time learning this stuff. That's why I'm very efficient when it comes to music production. I'm very efficient when it comes to mixing, like coming up with some sweet things for the choruses, like bridge part. I've been learning for the last 7-8 years how to do that efficiently and fast. So that's why I charge this much. I don't charge for my time, I mostly charge for my knowledge and time together. And it doesn't apply to just music production, it applies for everything. Like, plumber comes to your house, he does it very quick, but he charges you what, $200 to fix something for 1 hour. But he's been learning that stuff for years. He's been working as a plumber for years. He's been going to school for that. He's paid a lot of money for that too. So same when it comes to music production. Why should I charge $30 like minimum wage or something like that when I've been doing it for like 8 years, and it took me so much money, time and effort to learn all of this. So there's always a reason why people charge this much and why people charge this low. And then when it came to mastering of this project, there's only like limiter, tonal balance control, and the loudness meter. The balance control and the loudness meter are my go-to for like analyzing the beat. And then there's a just simple limiter. I didn't really do much stuff with mastering for the production because I know there's gonna be a singer and there's gonna be engineer for that singer that's gonna finish the production mastering part, finish the mastering part for the whole song together. That's why I don't add much mastering into my production in this phase when there is no singer yet. And this is it. So here you go, a Justin Bieber pop type beat for you guys. I hope you like this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next future videos. See you. Bye. Test. Working. Let's go.